The Raiders have a bit of a situation on their hands. Tight end Brock Bowers, one of their top offensive weapons, got hurt 2 weeks ago, and fans are starting to worry. Bowers is an incredible player who shined even in limited preseason snaps, but there's concern about his foot injury. We're going to dive into that, talk about Andre Pete now playing right guard for the Raiders, and finish up with some quarterback talk after yesterday's NDSU versus Colorado game. But first, let's focus on Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers' injury has people buzzing. Some think he might miss time this season. If you're not familiar, Bowers had foot surgery last year, specifically on his ankle, called a tightrope surgery. He bounced back in just 2 weeks, but some wonder if this current issue is related. However, it's unclear. While some reporters say it's just a sore foot, that's based on what Antonio Pierce mentioned, and we don't really know for sure what's going on. Yesterday, Antonio Pierce was asked about Bowers' status, and he had some interesting comments. When questioned about Bowers' readiness for Sunday's game against the Chargers, Pierce expressed confidence. He emphasized the importance of being cautious with young players, hinting that they're holding Bowers back to protect him from further injury. Pierce did say he feels really good about Bowers' chances to play, but that's not a guarantee. It's more like a strong possibility. With Monday around the corner, the Raiders are gearing up for their first real practice ahead of the Chargers game. If Bowers can't practice, that's a concern, especially for a rookie adjusting to the NFL's speed and complexity. The first official injury report drops on Tuesday or Wednesday, so we'll know more then. If Bowers is listed as doubtful, it's not looking good. If he's questionable, that's a positive sign he might play. Bowers is a game changer for the Raiders' offense. When they drafted him, I initially doubted the pick, thinking young tight ends usually take time to make an impact. But after watching his preseason performance, it's clear Bowers is a special talent, a generational player even. He's more than just a tight end, he's an all-around offensive weapon. Having him on the field, alongside Davante Adams, will be crucial for the Raiders' success. In other news, the Raiders waived Byron Young, hoping he'd clear waivers, but the Philadelphia Eagles snatched him up. The Raiders had hoped to bring Young back, but the Eagles saw potential in him and claimed him. This highlights the depth of the Raiders' defensive line and linebackers, which led to tough cuts. The Eagles, known for their strong management, must have seen enough in Young to bring him on board. While it's unfortunate for the Raiders, they do get some cap relief, as the Eagles now take on his contract. We'll be keeping an eye on Young's progress with the Eagles, as he joins a talented defensive line and gets coached by one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. Brock Bowers, a key offensive player for the Raiders, is dealing with a foot injury. Concerns are growing because of his previous ankle surgery and the current uncertainty about his condition. Head coach Antonio Pierce reassured that Bowers is likely to play against the Chargers, though it's not a guarantee. The first official injury report next week will be crucial to watch. Defensive tackle Byron Young was waived by the Raiders and claimed by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Raiders had hoped to bring him back, but their deep defensive line made it difficult to retain all players. Young's move to the Eagles offers the Raiders some cap relief, and he'll join a strong defensive unit in Philadelphia. Andres Pete has been practicing at right guard, a change from his usual left tackle position. This switch is significant because guard and tackle are very different positions in terms of skill set and responsibilities. Pete, a former Pro Bowl guard, could strengthen the Raiders' offensive line if he starts at right guard. The video explains the differences between playing as a guard and a tackle in the NFL. Playing guard is described as less challenging due to having support on both sides, whereas tackle requires playing in space and dealing with more athletic opponents. Andres Pete's move to right guard could be beneficial for the Raiders, especially given his past success at the position. Raiders fans are buzzing about Shedeur Sanders, the Colorado Buffaloes quarterback, after his impressive performance against North Dakota State. Although some fans are excited about the possibility of Sanders joining the Raiders in the future, the video suggests that the team should focus on their current roster, including Gardner Minshew, rather than speculating about drafting a new quarterback. The Raiders released cornerback Brandon Facyson with an injury settlement. Despite some initial optimism about his role on the team, Facyson's injury issues led to his release. The video notes that the Raiders have confidence in their current secondary, including players like Jacorian Bennett and Jack Jones, which made Facyson's release more understandable. The team's secondary is seen as strong heading into the season. The video covers various updates on the Raiders, including injury concerns, roster moves, and player performances, while offering insights into how these developments might impact the team's upcoming season. Raiders fans are encouraged to keep an eye on the team's preparation for Week 1 and to stay engaged with ongoing content.